Hello everyone. Today I will show you an advanced and powerful magic sequence that looks really nice, and I think this one is worth investing time in. It looks something like this. So you start with any card, in this case the ace, you put it into the middle of the deck, you show the audience that card and tell them to take a closer look at it, and then you push that card into the middle, and then you shoot it out from the middle of the deck, and there that trick is done. So that was the exposed view, and that's what we are going to go through today. As you saw, there are many things happening at the same time, so I will try to break it down as much as possible. But the main idea of the trick is for, in this case, this ace to go into the middle, and somehow this ace ends up on top, and we have another random card sticking out from the middle like this, because that's the one we're going to push in, and then our card is on top. So that's the aim of this whole first trick. So we will go through the left hand first, since I'm left-handed, but you can think of this as your right hand. So basically the grip for the whole trick almost for this hand is like this. So pinky, ring, index, thumb like this, and the index curl like this, and a bit of your palm like that. So this hand is basically having this grip throughout the trick, and there's only one sequence where this hand changes a bit, and that's when a card goes into the middle. The only change here is that the index moves to this center like this in order to put a bit of pressure on it. So that is the grip of the first hand. Now we move on to this hand, which is my left, and the first sequence is quite easy. Just grab a card and push it into the middle like that. So that's the easy part that we don't need to go through. But for the difficult part, this hand's main grip for almost the whole trick is the thumb, the index, and the middle finger like this. So basically the activity this hand is going to perform is to grab this top half, somehow move it down here like this, in this angle, and also be able to push down a card underneath the top card, and then press back the top card and push forward. So that's the activity that this hand is going to perform. So something like this: lift up, move down, stick in a card like that, press up, and at the same time move down. We will go more into detail about this hand, but basically that's the motion of this hand and these three fingers throughout the trick. So one of the prerequisites for this trick, I can show you here, is somehow to be able to move this top half down like this, and then a card is pushed in underneath the top card, and then force is applied in order for the top half to push out a card in the middle like this. You see here, like that. Because in order to get to this point, we need to somehow use this top half, move it down into this angle, stick in a card underneath in order to make that card go up to the top, and at the same time, if we just move away that card, the main activity of this half is that after it has come down, it will align and it will push out a card to be replaced, like that. So this is the main goal of this top half, to somehow get down like that and then push out that card. And in parallel to all of that, as this top half goes down, a card is pushed in. This top card needs to be pushed back and aligned with the top deck. So from this angle here again, this, or let's start with this position here. So like that. This top half goes down, a card is pushed in, this one goes out on top, and then another card is pushed into the middle, like that. So once all of that has happened, then we have made the switch. That's the difficult part. And in order to get there, we will move into the mechanics of this hand. And now that we have understood more about this hand, the top half and the bottom half, now we can move more into details. So in the beginning, we put a card into the middle right, like that. This grip goes into action. So the difficult part here is, how can we only use our thumb and our index finger to move this deck into this position, this angle position, while still having this middle finger on the top card? That's one of the main challenges of this trick. And I will show you my thought process on that one. So with this 3-finger grip like this, what you can do is that you can use this deck to somehow, this top half of the deck to somehow just slide down. And as you can see here, I can use the bottom half as some kind of leverage. So basically, you can use only your thumb and your index finger to slide down this half like this. Because once that is done, you can just slide in a card beneath, like that. So that's one of the secrets, because after a card has been slided in like that, the only main activity is a pushing activity. So like that. So once you have found a way to only use your thumb and your index to slide down like that, then you can just slide in one card beneath. And here comes the parallel motion. As this middle finger pushes back the top card to a line, at the same time this bottom half is pushing out the card in order to make the replacement. Because once you have done that, then you have successfully transferred the card to the top and you have some kind of random card sticking out. So that's the whole idea of the trick. To have that card, to show that card, to come down here, push in one card in the middle, align and push out, and then you have that. So as you saw, many parallel things going on at the same time in order to have one sweep motion for everything to happen at the same time. That's the complexity of the trick, and that will need practice. So I think one of the first steps is just to practice how this feels with this top half. Slide it down, stick a card into beneath that one, and then push out, and at the same time you push down that in order to make the switch. So that's what we're going to need to practice. And in one sweeping motion, it looks like that. And as you remembered in the beginning, I talked a bit about this index finger. So while using this index finger, you can keep that card in place. So while everything is done here, that one is kept in place, and then you can just move down here and stick in the card underneath here. And what I've learned to be useful is that once you're in this position, use a bit of force on the top deck to just push out that card. Because then you have the switch and then you can push it in, and that's done. You have the card on top. Okay? And now we will talk a bit about angles. So the most natural things to do is to show a card, stick it into the middle, show the audience that card and tell them to take a closer look, and then come down like this in order to show the card is sticking out like that, and then you push it in. So that's the normal sequence. And in that normal sequence, you do all your activities. So you show the audience the card, they take a look at the card. In the background, you do all the activities, you stick down one card, and here comes the trick and the angle to practice. As you're coming down, that's when everything happens. So in a sweep motion, we made that switch. And from the audience perspective, if I show you like this, so they will see, and then they will see like that. And all they will see is a card sticking out, which you can push in like that. So one more with the angles. Show them this joker. It goes into the middle. Tell them to take a closer look. Move this down, put it in, and 1, 2, 3. That's done. And in the future, when you have mastered that sequence, you can use this top part of your index in order to hold cards from sticking out, so you only have one card sticking out. And what I mean by that is that when you use this half to press out cards, you see here multiple cards are sticking out. But if your index finger is there like that, then only one card is sticking out. You get my point, like that. But that's not the end of the world. As long as they see something sticking out, then that's fine. One card, show that, stick it in, and 1, 2, 3. Make that switch. Then you have that one out. And afterwards, you simply push in that card, and then that's on top. You can either show it's on top, or you can do as I did and do a top shot of it. And after everyone saw the ace go into the middle, they will firmly believe that the ace is in the middle. So that's why I add another layer of complexity to do a top shot, because that will show that, okay, somehow the ace went into the middle and it was shot into the other hand. So then I think it looks cooler. So that's optional, and if you want to learn that, you can look at my other video. But basically you just shoot the card and then you catch that. So this adds this new dimension to the trick, that somehow it went into the middle and he managed to shoot it from the middle out into this hand. So by combining these two powerful tricks, I think that gives a great effect. Okay, thank you all.